We saw the flashy plays blinking over the wall to the blind ultimates. We saw the necessary plays, just the zoning, sashes. Really impressive stuff coming out from Rapio and the rest of the team. As we move into game number 2, we'll see if the selections stay the same or if we get a shakeup with exceL now in the driver's seat. They've got first pick.
The strategy coming out of Rival is not something that exceL was caught off guard by, I would say. It was just something that they needed to be a little bit more mindful about the early rotation. And with that, their picks and bans shouldn't really change too drastically as a result. It's just a playstyle change more than anything else.
All right, why don't you expand a little bit on that? Because exceL, I kind of think there might have been a draft issue.
So the thing was, it was an early game team composition out of exceL. With the Neath against the Xbalanque specifically, and you're trying to get that kind of early game pressure. Now, even with the early game gank, Neath was able to bully the Xbalanque under tower. Unfortunately, they were just too far behind elsewhere, specifically in the jungle position. Awilish is one of the best junglers in the early game. It's just you needed to synergize a little bit better with your mid lane as well. Chronos not the best to synergize with an Awilish, so
yeah, I think the Chronos is what I'd like to see change, but with exceL immediately selecting the Guan Yu as it's not banned this time around, already in a good spot. And again, the Naja ban coming out from exceL, absolutely perfect. It's one of those things where we mentioned how it's tougher and tougher to ban players out because God pools are getting bigger, but sometimes you're hot one day, you're right. I mean, you're a player. You can't really figure out why, but oh my God, my Osiris is insane today, right? You've got to ban that. I think the Naja ban is perfect here.
Gonna change up their style. Picking up a Janus in the mid lane, allowing for a lot of mobility and aggression for exceL. Guan Yu can go really hard with the cavalry charge, with Janus bailing him out with a portal. You have another global with the Apollo, so he's going to be trying to split push all day. Now, we might see another Awilish coming out of exceL against this Bacchus and Scylla. They tried it the first game, trying to counter the Scylla, but they couldn't really find the ultimates on the Scylla. They only found it really on the Bacchus.
Excellent choice by Team Rival to pick up the Odin here. It's going to stop basically everybody on the side of exceL. Guan Yu specifically gets in so much trouble in the Odin ring. It's really, really powerful, and I think this is one of the better selections that we've seen.
And it's even a better ban out of Rival as well. Taking away the Awilish, those are 3 gods that easily get pulled by that ultimate. So taking that off the table, as well as a Nemesis. If Odin or Bacchus initiate, then Nemesis can easily capitalize on that. So that taking off those 2 junglers are very smart banning strategies from Rival.
Rival's got one more pick here. It'll be the Jing. So a very a strong character getting back to lane as far as the sustain is concerned. If Apollo wants to go ahead and clear a wave and then ult back, Jing can match that no problem. exceL's got 2 picks to round out their squad. They need likely a jungler and a either support or solo. Batz will be the selection, so a team fight oriented selection here for exceL. Guan Yu is very flexible, so we're not quite sure where he's going to land. And exceL will tell us with this last selection where Guan Yu will be played.
So far, Batz and Janus, there could be some interesting plays going into the dual lane specifically. Now, more than likely, it's going to be the Bacchus Jing unless there's some crazy shenanigans in the early game.
Right.
Odin Jing would be interesting as well, going to be doing a lot of damage in the early laning phase. But we're going to see the Thor in the jungle side for Rival, as well as the Sun Wukong in the solo for exceL. So nothing really too out of the ordinary, I would say.
I think exceL's composition this time around is tons better. Last time around, I just had a lot of issues. The Chronos didn't seem to really fit. It was kind of just like, hey, Hatters has a mean Chronos, so let's give it to him. It didn't really seem like there was a top-down level thinking. Here, on exceL, you've got a lot of global positioning with Janus and Apollo, and jokes aside, the double monkey composition is actually very strong. You get the knockups from the Ox and then the Fear No Evil from Batz. There's just a lot of plain disruption. You try to set up your team fight and everybody's just saying no. So exceL is going to look for disruption, and they're going to really look to sort of stop what Team Rival has in plan, which is, well, Same old, same old. Set up from the jungle into I'm a monster. Set up from Bacchus into I'm a monster.
So the strength and weakness that I'm seeing out of exceL currently is the fact that they do have 4 physical gods. Their only magical is Janus. So Janus is going to have to build very glass cannon style into this game, picking up the Doom Orb, picking up Shoes of the Magi, picking up Soul Reaver, probably 4th item, and trying to make sure that he's going to be able to hyper carry this game. Now, the strength behind that is the fact that 4 physical gods early game is good because you're not going to have those defenses yet. But the later this game goes, Rival can easily counter build against that.
So Doom Orb, is Doom Orb still the go-to with Bancroft on the table of being changed?
In this position,
Yeah, on this patch, yes, but looking towards next week or so.
I would say that I would still go Doom Orb in the early game,
Right.
but I would definitely try to figure out a way to include Bancroft talent into my build.
A lot of things. That's one of the more fun things about MOBAs, honestly, is that the game constantly changing, not just from a commentary standpoint, but from a player standpoint. You have to change and you have to adjust to all these changes, whether they're map changes, whether they're god changes, or, of course, itemization changes. We've got a number of different items coming out in our mid-season patch that just announced. It should be hitting PC tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, or at least in a couple of days. So very, very exciting time for Smite, and the players have to adjust.
Fudge barely able to escape that first blood. However, Atonement going to find Hatters in the meantime, being left alone with that first blood going to Rival, taking away the purple pot on your Janus, and now taking away the red pot from Fudge. exceL are in a lot of trouble in the beginning of this game.
You know, Rapio, I thought maybe it was just the maybe it was the Naja. He was hot on. Rapio's just hot today. He's got the hot hands. 1 kill, 1 assist already for the jungle Thor at the moment.
And Dual Lane just trading a little bit of poke, looking at the meditation was already popped early on from the Bacchus, trying to sustain a laning phase, trying to match this healing coming out of the Guan early game.
Yeah, good luck.
Just got to pop that meditation, which is already on about a 80-second cooldown remaining.
Rawski on this Guan Yu, I mean, really not Rawski. Rawski's a powerful support in his own right, but Guan Yu just brings he's just such a different character. Really alters not just the lane, but the team fights as well. Just one of the stronger
It's going to be a gank
right
in the
now.
dual lane? No, never mind. I saw Thor positioning himself there, but the solo lane side of things, Kaajee might be in a little bit of trouble. Bird Bomb connecting, doing a little bit of damage, but now Kaajee's going to turn it around. That was a crit!
Yeah, right. Gnome got a little aggressive there. As soon as I saw the cage go down, I said, this is not an easy, clear victory for the Odin. The turnaround from Sun Wukong big, and as you mentioned, the crit, certainly important. Never forget your passives.
It seems that, I believe, Kaajee opened up with a red pot to start. He doesn't have tier 1 boots, so therefore he had an extra 20 physical power going into that. Now, I was curious as to how Kaajee was able to clear the wave, very similar to the same time that the Odin did at level 4. Now, during the Odin cage, as we did see, I'm a monster, but he cleared the wave very similar to how Odin's pace is. Normally, you don't see that unless the red pot is down.
That I'm a monster. Very curious. I think Thor wanted to go in the air, but was spotted out by Batz, and the Scylla already went into the I'm a monster, anticipating the jump up. But Gnome answers back, just sort of steps onto Kaajee, and Gnome's going to be taken out by a mid-jungle combination here. There's a cage, and that'll save his life.
Jump secured for the slowed, and now Gnome should be going down with the Furious Monkey Toss.
He's waiting on it.
Overhand smash is good, so that's going to be a return kill. It was a nice attempt by Gnome. He got the kill. It was a very safe attempt. He didn't have to use the jump into the tower. It was just a better counter gank coming out of Rival, utilizing that global pressure that they have.
And that's going to be a big motif for this game going forward, Tully, is going to be Team Rival's ability to use, Team Rival's ability to use that Thor, and just be able to be aware that exceL does have the globals at their position at their disposal, but do they want to use them is really the question. Does Janus really want to go ahead and ult? Because right there, Team Rival knew that the globals were on the table, but exceL weren't ready to use them just yet at 4 minutes in.
Purification now down on Hatters. Rival are going to take full advantage of that. After picking up their items, the Warrior Tabby onto the Thor, the Shoes of the Magi onto the Scylla, they're more than likely going to look for a potential gank once these mid-harpies do respawn.
Solo lane now fighting, and again, Odin finds himself on the downside. There's the Bird Bomb right in time for the ultimate out of the Sun Wukong. It's a very smart play, but The monkey will not be stopped. Jingle bang over the top. Rapio answers back as we see the Hunter v Hunter duel go the way of Jing Wei. Jing Wei winds up besting her opposition. And so the Hunter on the side of Team Rival will take a seat.
These solo laners are just smacking each other silly right now.
Yep.
It's so fun to watch this kind of a style. Normally we see more passiveness, more farming early on, but right away we saw one solo kill, a second solo kill, and then we saw a kill in a 1v2 situation, and that we don't normally see very often. So good play coming out of Kaajee, trading his life.
Yeah, these guys just want to fight. They want to play. They both want to prove something to each other. And what makes it even more fun is that they're staying about even because of the back and forth nature. So nobody's getting too discouraged, like, oh, he just got me twice in a row, I got to play passive. They both think they can have this lane, and from what we've seen so far, they both can have this lane.
And what's beautiful about that last engagement was the fact that Kaajee forced the Thor ultimate into his lane. So now that's going to allow Hatters to play a little bit more safely in the mid lane. He doesn't have to worry about that Thor ultimate while his purification is still down.
Very important stuff. That's really where the meat and potatoes of these games are, Tully, is the intricacies between mainly the relic cooldowns and the ultimate cooldowns and keeping those in mind. Hatters with an excellent portal gets himself out of jail, and Rawski just rides the horse away. So everybody on the side of exceL will be safe for the moment. Can't say the same about Gnome, as he's taken so much poke from the Sun Wukong with just boots 1. Boots 3.
He does have teleport available. Could elect to try to do something. Rapio off the mark with his ultimate, just out of range. Kaajee's taking a little bit of damage, but he's feeling very confident that he could just use his bird form right away. He doesn't have much mana after this, but it doesn't look... He's going to get collapsed on underneath.
We see the rotation, but he's also got friends of his own coming out from even deeper, but not close enough. Ultimate just not used.
Didn't have the mana for it.
That's rough.
That's rough. About 100 or 110 mana at level 1.
So just too short as far as the mana is concerned, and that seals the deal for the solo lane monkey. Headhunter in some trouble now, dash forward. So beautiful, gonna miss.
That's really unfortunate. You definitely want to be able to land that ability in a boxing match situation, or at least use it on the wave, and now just going to waste a little bit more time. Meanwhile, the speed buff was stolen by Rival onto Rapio.
Yeah, nothing really that exceL could do anything about. I mean, Rival just has so many people grouped up here on the right side of the jungle that, you know, a single Hun Batz showing up, even with the Janus, is just not going to be enough.
Especially with Janus ultimate being down. You just picked off the Sun Wukong, but exceL are very determined to maybe try to get this gold
This is
fury.
the right call. This is the right call here. I know that the Thor and the other two members of Team Rival here in the distance, I think the damage coming out from exceL was enough to really take that. But instead, they're going to retreat off the gold fury, and now Rival are the ones with the aggressive stance. Ultimate popped up by Atonement, won't find a player, but will find a red buff. So again, a jungle invade coming out from the guys on Rival. They're on top of everything except for this solo lane. Kaajee has looked very strong here.
And this is a good idea, trying to extend his advantage, constantly bullying out this Odin, forcing out his teleport. Now you're going to have the advantage once your teleport comes off cooldown. Looking at the gold disparity, 4,900 compared to 47. Now, the Sun Wukong did invest into a red potion, so technically he's still down a little bit of gold. But he also invested less potions in terms of health and mana compared to the Odin.
Which is interesting, because whenever you see a solo lane, it's a lot about sustain and fighting. Don't you want to have as many of those potions as possible?
You do, unless you're trying to get first blood, which is exactly what Kaajee's mindset was, and he was rewarded for it.
It's all part of the plan. Jing Wei going to get dashed on. A couple of basics. We'll find a home, but now the rotation from the support. And Drizzi. That's more than a drizzle there. He's going to fall down. And one more death for the Hunter. 0, 2, and 0.
Just a little bit of a miscalculated aggression. Normally in the Hunter position, when you're trying to take these 1v1 fights, you have to know with 99.9% certainty where everybody else is on that side of the map. Looking at the vision control out of exceL, they only had it around the Gold Fury and underneath. They didn't have it around the top side. As well as, normally you also want to clear the wave before trying to be aggressive. So there was two factors that the Apollo kind of didn't look at.
Yeah, I was going to go right to the wards. There just wasn't enough vision for Apollo to be that far up in that situation. That's why he dies right there. I'm sure he will adapt and learn and make sure not to push up so far in the future. 9:30 on the clock, almost 10 minutes in here, folks. Best of 2, or at least a 2-game series. Team Rival won game 1 very quickly in 17 total minutes. And here right now, they also look like they have a, well, It's a devastating lead right now. 3,000 gold, but as we say all the time, gold is relative. 3,600 at 9-10 minutes only. That's a lot of a lead.
In this position, there's 2 levels on the side of the Jing Wei, which can easily be exploited with the teleport being down on the Odin and some Wukong picking up teleport. It's going to be up soon. He's going to have a very quick kill onto hi-rez, and this could be another kill if Thor lands down onto the Guan Yu.
There's a crush waiting for everybody to show up, and the ultimate out of Bacchus is powerful as well. The stun and the tap from Rapio. Holy wow, this guy is on a different level today. 3-0-2 for the jungle, and he has been very important for Team Rival today.
Apollo's ultimate was used, trying to engage, get something into the mid lane, but not able to find it. We did have a rotation from Jing Wei being able to secure this tier 1 tower, but Rival aren't done yet. They're looking for this tier 2 instead of Gold Fury.
Yeah, this is what they did the last time around as well, looking for the structures. Crush does so much damage, and here comes Janus to chase everybody from Team Rival off. But Scylla now in a much different position on the player damage.
In this position, if that Thor was there during that root crush, that would have been a guaranteed kill. I'm really surprised that the Thor elected to prioritize those back right heartbeats invade, which is a nice mindset as well. But if you're going to be playing aggressive in the tier 2 tower, you got to be looking for those picks. You have a lot of CC potential with the Tectonic Rift, with the root potential from Scylla. Headhunter might be in trouble.
That doesn't look like it. I think he'll be fine. Rawski on the backside, a different story. He's going to come up with Drizzi and friends. And now I'm really looking at Zenborne, who finds a way out. And that should be it in general. A lot of aggression for no reason.
Kaajee looking for the Tiger Stun. Going to connect onto Rapio. Drizzi going to follow up, forcing the Purification as we have Rawski. Was considering diving the Thor, but going to elect oppositely, forcing Atonement's ulti. Not going to connect, though.
Yeah, Atonement wanted to find some of the damage, but unfortunately, a little bit too wiggly for him was his opponents. Hatters, on the other hand, going to take out Atonement. Nothing he can do about that one. Gnome picks up one as well. Kaajee falls, so that's 1 for 1. Kaajee for Atonement. All players, other than that, are still alive and ready. But Thor realizes how low Janus is. Looking for one, doesn't even need the tap. Gnome finishes him off with a basic. And now Rawski is surrounded by 5. Should find a way out if he plays this correctly, and he does. Dashes away from the team, gets rid of the bird bomb, but then goes right back into troubled waters.
The dash is down on the Guan Yu, and a lot of interesting diversion. Gold Fury was being leashed as well. Guan Yu's still in a lot of trouble. His dash is down again. The ultimate is down. He's going to fall. So overall, that was a 3-for-1 exchange in the favor of Rival, and now they're going to set their sights into the Gold Fury around the 12.5 minute mark, and there's nobody in position from exceL to even contest it. The Monkey Brothers are instead looking to push the solo lane in response.
And that's exactly what they'll do. Looks like the tier 1 tower going to fall down here just by the minions, and they'll push into the blue buff as well. But the damage has been done. Team Rival get the gold. What is that? Fudge drops the ultimate. I think it was a mistake, but you saw Kaajee just sort of stand there like, dude, what are you doing?
That's one of those facepalm moments.
Yep.
When your teammate, you see that, you just like...
That's rough. I mean, it had... he obviously didn't try to ult the minion camp, right? Just ultimate. Oh, that's not good, especially because of how important Fear No Evil is for the squad. They really, exceL really needs Fear No Evil at their disposal to really fight into these team fights.
Maybe he thought the Thor was about to land down, trying to anticipate that.
Trying to make the hot play.
The hot counter play, nah. But realistically, it seemed like it was a little bit of a misclick coming out of the Batz. Rawski taking a lot of damage, being forced to use the ultimate. However, Thor is gonna...
He's gonna go
He's
for
gonna
it.
flirt with
Land
the
right
idea, and he's gonna not connect. Hatters in the meantime, gonna fall to Atonement.
Ooh. I'm having a lot of fun watching Rapio today. Like, he misses the hyper-aggressive Thor ult, and then he realizes he has to walk away. It's very easy to get yourself caught up in the moment here.
I like the idea that he flirts with, the danger of the dive in the tier 2. Kaajee doesn't have ultimate available, gets hit with I'm a Monster, gonna get stunned out by the burp, and he's gonna fall. So overall, a 2-for-0 exchange, and Rival are more than likely gonna get this tier 1 tower if they can get the wave with them. The wave from exceL was able to get that tier 1 tower on the right-hand side solo. Meanwhile, on the dual lane side of things currently, there's just Drizzi is very low, and there's going to be a gank coming from Fudge. Let's see if he's going to be able to get anything out of this.
Yeah, this is what I'm looking at right now. Fudge had a good opportunity and now has a great opportunity, but walks away from it. There's the jump. Ultimate on point this time around. But Rapio's here, finds the Berserker's Barrage. Fudge got nowhere to go, and that'll be it, folks. 4-15, 15 minutes or less on the clock, and Team Rival find their second win. That's 2 for Team Rival today, above exceL.
Just a very dominating performance out of Rival. Now going to be sitting at 7-1 in the standings ahead of Barrage. It's going to be interesting to see that matchup eventually. Rival versus Barrage would be coming up later today.
Yeah, and then right away, after a quick break, we're going to see Barrage take on exceL. So very quickly, Barrage can go ahead and jump on forward. But as we focus on this game, really, Rival, Atonement, and Rapio are the 2 players that we want to look at. I mean, personally, Atonement always does what he's supposed to in this mid lane, but Rapio had a much different performance today. It was a lot of fun to watch, and it all started with this Naja.
They just play their roles the way they were meant to. You have the jungler be the initiator, and then you have the mid laner always following up off of that initiation. So the Naja was just not afraid to do Naja things, and the Scylla was always there supporting.
And when it comes to Naja, it's very important about your mechanics, and we saw a lot of mechanical prowess there. And then with Rapio on the Thor, it becomes much more, a little bit about mechanics, but much more about just the general setup and really allowing your teammates to help you out as well.
He forced a lot of engagements, forced a lot of purification, and now Atonement side of things, he was also doing a lot of work. He was always waiting for this Naja setup on the Crush or the I'm a Monster later on in the game. It was just always in the right positions that he needs to. He never got pulled by a Willish ultimate in that first game either, just being very careful.
Just very careful is the word. When I see Atonement play, you very rarely see him step too far out of position. It happens. Atonement's not perfect, but you see a lot of just careful play, intelligent play, and positioning. Very, very important. And speaking of positioning, we've got something positioned on Wednesday for you guys. It's going to be Esports Weekly as per usual, but we've got something new. There are a lot of secrets that needs to be told on Wednesday. Have you heard much about the new split coming up?
I might have heard a thing or two about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm excited.
We gave out some spoils. We gave out some spoils before on the Joust Summer Series.
Oh, do you want to spoil some more?
Yeah, what was that?
Do you want to spoil some more?
Yeah, I mean, I might as well. So we tweeted out before that we're going to be 400% more lands this going on into this split, and then of course, don't forget the absolute biggest part of this upcoming fall split is going to be. Make sure you catch it.